Okay, welcome back, you guys.
Yes.
We said that in sync. Welcome back to another episode of Party with Jesus.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk.
You forgot to do the slogan.
I was going to do it right after.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this
so,
guy didn't tell me.
Sebastian, are you ready to party?
I'm ready to party. With Jesus.
Okay, and I'm going to say it again. Today, we're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk. And yeah, so, I mean, first of all, like, whatever you think of him, I mean, I know some people don't like him. And, like, some people, too, are like, oh, he's, like, a racist or, I don't know. I mean, I would encourage you, if you're one of those people, just actually go back and listen to him. If you think he's, like, if you're hearing that he's, like, racist or hates gay people. I've heard some strange things from actually people who are, like, who seem to be Christian too.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh yeah, Charlie spoke the gospel a lot, but but you're skipping the like the fascist rhetoric or whatever. He had divisive rhetoric. Like, I don't know. Like, I would just encourage you to go back and listen to him.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's like, I think Charlie Kirk was an awesome guy.
Yeah, he was amazing, dude.
Like, I had this conversation in my head about, like, how to say, this right, and, like, my thoughts. And I was like, I think I was telling somebody, and I was like, I don't think it's cool to hate somebody because of what they stood up for. Charlie Kirk stood up for their faith. And I think the biggest problem is that, like, people, judge by the words that people say. But I think with Charlie Kirk is that he stood up for his faith. And I was just telling somebody, like, dude, Charlie Kirk was one of the greatest examples that represented Jesus in a loving way. And I think there's a difference between, like, he fact-checked a lot of people. He told the truth out of kindness and out of love. And that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if you don't like him, I mean, whatever. He still.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that he was a martyr. He was an American martyr.
Yeah.
I mean, he spoke the gospel just across the entire U.S. just on college campuses and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was actually speaking the gospel just like 15 minutes before he was martyred.
Yeah.
Also, just like 15 minutes, I saw a video. It was like just him, preaching the gospel, and it was like 15 minutes before. So.
I think he's one of those people that, like, stood up for a lot of people's faith. And honestly, I think a lot of people, in this culture now, you probably have a lot of famous celebrities and a lot of, influence or whatever, or just, like, sometimes your friends not talking about it. And I think a lot of people are just scared to talk about it and just speak out in what's on their thoughts. Like, a lot of my friends are, like, conservatives, and there's only, like, at least a few people that I know that are not. And, like, I think it's so important to just share the love, the passion and the compassion that he had in the faith, and kind of realize that he probably got a lot of death threats. Like, you look at Jesus, even Jesus probably got a lot of death threats, probably. Like, people didn't like Jesus.
I mean, they actually killed Jesus, too.
They did.
So he probably...
Like, okay.
Actually did it,
besides
too.
the death threats of Jesus. Like Jesus is, like, everybody hated Jesus because of the truth and love and kindness that he had for people. A bunch of people hated Charlie Kirk because he was speaking facts and love, and he was sharing the gospel. There's nothing to hate about that. That's the reality. I think the problem is, like, people judge so quick and be like, oh, he said this, he's a racist. Like understand, like, biblically and, spiritually,
No, it reminds me of when Jesus says, he says, if the world hates you, remember it hated me first.
Yeah.
Remember that? I forget the exact verse. But.
Yeah. And I was kind of really trying to think about that exactly. Our goal is to represent Christ. Our goal isn't to be the most, like, likable person ever. And, like, it's important to be, like, represent Jesus in, as brothers and sisters of Christ, to represent Christ.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's like being truly loving is speaking the truth a lot of the times, and it doesn't mean speaking the truth in a mean way, but
Yeah.
speaking the truth in a loving way.
Right.
Because it's kind of easy to think like, oh, just keep my mouth shut and then I'll be loving.
Yeah.
But like sometimes the truth will offend somebody,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's really something that I've been reflecting on. Like definitely next time I'm speaking about Jesus or just anything to somebody,
Yeah.
and I'm worried about like, okay, is this gonna maybe be like too much or whatever? I'm gonna remember Charlie Kirk, legit,
Yeah.
died speaking the truth.
It's like the other thought, like, are you willing to die for Jesus?
I've actually been reflecting on that a little bit. Initially, I was like kind of like scared actually right after it happened. I was like, oh geez, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, I've reflected on it. I don't know. I don't want to be so bold as to say that I definitely would die. Like if somebody had a gun to me, then I definitely would just be like, yeah, kill me. But like I don't know, but like I legit am like reflecting on it a lot. And I'm like thinking that like
Yeah.
there is a chance I would just like say Jesus is my Lord and then die. I don't know. I really
yeah.
don't know.
I
Like
was actually
I don't
having
want to
this-
be so bold as to say that, because but like it's just I've been reflecting on that.
Well, you're reflecting on it today.
Just kind of since it happened, dude.
I was reflecting on today too about like this episode too. I was like, dude, like if we ever talk about like political stuff or like Trump stuff or like like anything with political stuff, like I know people are gonna hate us for just speaking out. And like, all right, I was like, it's like, would I rather be the most hated person in the whole world and not give a crap? Yeah, I don't mind. Because I was like preparing my mind for like I'd rather be someone who stands up for faith. Because I think about like when a million people hate you, there's so many other people that are supporting your faith and supporting your boldness. For one of those chosen people that are speaking out and the love of God is just being poured out. And I think that was the greatest, one of the greatest
representations.
I think that's one of the greatest representations of what Charlie Kirk did. That he didn't just went out because he did it. He went out and spoke out of love and kindness and boldness because he had a burning desire and that was his calling.
Yeah, definitely. It's back to what I mentioned before. If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. What Jesus says.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing too is just like his family and everybody who knew him too.
Yeah.
I'm just really praying that God can just comfort them, because like, man, that sucks.
Yeah. I just I feel bad for the family that they have to go through that. And especially they're already there, and that's gotta be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were there when it happened too.
And that's gotta hurt. Like, I feel bad, for, his kids have to like, just.
Yeah, just everybody there too.
It's
That
just
was like so. Oh my gosh. Just even
I
people
was
who
in
are like
shock.
there at the event.
I was just in shock. I was like, what? At first, I thought it wasn't real at first because I was just like so tired and I was scrolling. I was like, but I was like, I saw it again. And I was like, oh, like this is like so real. Because I'm so like tired with like AI and all that stuff. Because like
Oh yeah.
like,
oh man.
like in general, like I was like, oh, this is so like at first I thought it was AI, and at first I didn't know it was Charlie Kirk. I thought it was like somebody else, and I really looked into it more. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it was all
this
over the
just
internet.
happened. And I saw another post. I was like, another post. Rest in peace.
No,
I was like,
it was all over the
oh
internet.
shoot!
It was all. You couldn't go on the internet without.
Like I was tripping. I was like, this is so unexpected. Because at first,
yeah,
like
you
I didn't
couldn't-
really believe it at first. Because I was like, dude, this is so like unexpected.
No,
and then like
what
kept
happened?
reading
What
more
happened
and
to
be like,
me is I wasn't on social media very much that day, but then my dad called me and he was like, "Dude, Charlie Kirk just died." Like, he
At
just got
first,
killed. And
I
was like,
thought he got hit by a paintball gun or something. just
What?
I don't know why. Like, I didn't really read of like what happened. I said shot something, but like, oh, we got hit with like a paintball gun or something else. And then until like,
yeah, you were thinking it wasn't real. Like,
yeah,
you were like,
I was like,
oh, this can't be real.
no, I
is
thought he
what
got shot
what
by
you're trying
something
to
else,
say,
like
yeah?
a paintball gun or like something, you know.
Yeah, no, you were like in disbelief, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, at
You're like,
first-
wait, there's no way this is real.
Yeah, at first I was in disbelief because I was like, this is so unexpected. You know, I was like, I was just checking my stories and like just out of nowhere. I'm like,
No, it was like it legit was like a heavy weight too.
yeah,
It's kind of funny, like it's surprising how much of a heavy weight it is.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, you lose a brother in Christ, I guess.
yeah. And it's like I don't know. I'm like reflecting. I'm like, dang. And I think about like, oh, I can't like. Charlie Kirk is not there. And, like speaking at universities and stuff. Like who's gonna like?
Yeah, no, they
who
still-
else? Who else is gonna like do that except for Steven Crowder, or like there's like Louder with Crowder. There's another guy that like speaks at universities and
Yeah,
stuff
they
too.
still they still have the podcast going, but they just leave his seat empty. Isn't that so?
Dude, that's oh my gosh,
that's
that's
so-
gotta hurt.
Yeah, I know they're still keeping it going though, but yeah, just
I don't think I would want to watch it because I don't want to be like, oh shoot, Charlie's not there.
Yeah, I know.
I want to hear him. Then somebody else, respectfully.
respectfully.
You know,
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing he did say, like in an interview, once
Oh,
he
I
said
saw this,
he
yeah.
said if he would want to be remembered for anything, it would be his faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the reality is that he's always probably had death threats and like one day he could, something could happen or get assassinated or whatever. And I think it's the same thing with like other, political people that are standing up in their faith and standing up, for Jesus. It's like, and then you don't see the other side on that too. They're like, it's kind of what makes me really upset, like just the thought, like why would somebody be happy for that to happen? That kind of like, that just really like kind of just made me just think of like, wow,
If somebody is happy that happened,
you're
you
turd.
You really got to check your heart posture, and I would be careful.
I feel like they don't have a heart at all, because then like
Okay, so I'm not going to speak for certain or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know that would be a person going to heaven. If you're, I mean, I don't know, obviously. And it's not like if you do something bad, you're not going to heaven, but like I would just really check your heart posture in general.
yeah.
If you're somebody like that, like you've got to have such a hard heart.
Yeah. Or a hardened
Because just,
heart.
what's that?
A hardened heart.
A hardened heart, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah. But so, I think just an important thing to touch on, too, is, we'll kind of say everything happens for a reason, right? I want to touch on this a little bit. Does everything happen for a reason? No. Right? Did God cause him to die? Right? Did God cause it? No, absolutely not. Right? So it's horrible, right? But can God take this bad situation and bring something good out of it? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, everything happens for a reason. We're not going to say like, oh yeah, that's like, it kind of implies that, oh, that's good that happened. Right? But, bad things happen in the world. But can God bring something good out of it? Absolutely. Like Romans 8:28 says,
100%.
God works everything for good.
Yeah. I think it really wakes a lot of people up.
Yeah, definitely. So like I'm really feeling revival now.
Yeah.
Too. And a lot of just a lot of Bible stories of martyrs. Like huge revival comes out of it. Like I want to go through a few of those stories in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie, by the way, I haven't heard anybody notice this, but he has like 5 million more followers now. He went from
Yeah.
7.2 million to 12.3 million.
What?
Did you notice that? I mean, I haven't heard anybody say that.
He had 11 million, but
12.3 million today.
probably has way more. Probably like
When
13
we look at the what?
Did you see the post that his wife did?
I didn't know.
No, when she did.
Do you want to speak into the camera? You're gonna be
Why don't you just come over
Yeah.
here? Say something.
in the frame.
For everybody listening, my sister is going to join us.
Hello, everyone.
You can sit down.
Okay.
My sister is amazing. She's the best.
No,
An amazing sister. Amazing.
No, but his wife.
You should just put it like.
No,
Yeah, just-
but his wife did. What is the right word?
Podcast, a video.
Yeah, she posted something, and she said, "You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife, and the cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry."
Is that almost sounds like scripture?
That's
it?
That's her saying it.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel revival. So, like, I want to go through a few martyr stories where, like, it sparks, revival. Either revival or just, I don't know. Lost for words.
That's so powerful.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
No, but she's like talking about like how she won't let like her husband's legend like die or anything, and that like hate was just unleashed across like the whole like American country and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if hate is the right word, but, a righteous fire. This is weird seeing Sebastian right here.
Well, no, that's what she even said. She said, "You have no idea the fire that you have unleashed."
Yeah,
within
exactly,
this
the
wife."
fire, yes.
She said it like that. She was talking about herself like in the, I don't know what type of person that is. First person? I don't know. But she's talking about
Within
herself.
this wife, it'd be third person.
Third person. My bad, you guys. My bad.
English.
Stay in school. But yeah, it's really sad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, are you going to just be chilling with us, or
I'll chill.
is
Yeah.
Sebastian coming back?
No.
We were planning on Sebastian being my podcast partner. I mean, no offense, but like,
That's rude.
just like sealing him away,
I guess I need the background.
just swapping. Okay, for everybody listening, I don't know how many people are listening. I don't always think to speak to the people listening because I just think that everybody's watching it. But there's some people who are listening and they're just like, what is going on? But so for the people listening, my sister has switched seats with Sebastian. So now Sebastian's just, over in the corner, chilling like a villain. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, like legit, you wanna keep this up, or?
Sure.
I don't know. How about you guys, like talking to one mic or something?
Yeah, Sebastian.
I feel like this is a little bit of sabotage here.
You
we're trying to-
my podcast. Just kidding.
It's a little bit of sabotage.
Yes.
Nuh-uh.
Okay. I mean, I suppose I'll just keep going then.
I'll just be here. Here, Sebastian.
Can we actually switch now?
Do you want to bring
We actually
out? Do you
switch
want to
back.
bring out like another stool or something? All right.
How much did that chair move? Because I had it positioned right.
Oh.
Let the records show
Okay.
that the chair is being moved. Oh,
All right. So back.
Okay, now Sebastian's back.
I'm back. Very inspirational, I would say, because I think like his wife spoke just from out of the heart, and I think just reflecting on that too is that like before he talks about the martyr stories in the Bible, it really thinks like I think about like back to when people think like people get excited about his death. Honestly, it's kind of just cruel. It kind of like
That's just demonic.
that is just so like demonic and evil. Like I don't know. I don't know. I was talking to my mom yesterday about it because I was like, dude, it's crazy. And it's like, why would people think about that? Why would they be happy? That's like me thinking about somebody, like, that's like me thinking about, like, a very, very evil, person, in the in the world because I think everybody has these, thoughts some people that we don't like or some political people that we don't like, but I don't think it's cool to think about that person like you want them dead. Because I was just, telling somebody that like everybody has time to change. Like I think about like sometimes like I shouldn't think like people shouldn't think about people that they don't like should be dead. They should just think about what I think about is that I wish that they encountered Jesus or that evil person encountered Jesus and radically changed their life, because there's always time for God to just show up in their life. That's just like the way I think about it.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. If you're somebody who knows somebody else who's like happy that he's dead,
Yeah.
I would be very worried about that person.
Yeah.
Because their heart is not in the right place clearly.
Exactly.
And I would be I would be questioning a lot if they are going to heaven, like legit.
Mm-hmm.
If their heart posture is in that place. So I would be very worried about that person. That's
Yeah.
what I would say. Instead of just being like,
I would think that person
so
is
mad at them.
evil. I'm like,
Like,
well,
no,
I don't think
seriously,
I
they're
can
probably-
trust you at all.
like,
Respectfully.
yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to hang out with that person.
yeah,
I love
I
you,
agree,
but I'm not gonna
but
hang
I
out
mean-
with you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, but should we get to some
yeah, I think we should get to some Bible, characters. What biblically.
yeah, so
Or-
there's so
So
many
many.
martyrs
Yeah.
in the Bible, but I just have a few. I just have a few that I like. So one of them my mom actually brought up, and it reminds me of Charlie Kirk a lot, and it's Stephen. So Stephen was proclaiming the gospel.
Stephen.
Yeah, the stoning of Stephen. Yeah, in Acts chapter 7. Look it up, you guys. Acts chapter 7. But yeah, anyway, Stephen is proclaiming the gospel to everybody and to the religious leaders too. He's giving this big long speech that's a whole chapter long about how people have always rejected God's spokespeople, basically.
Yeah.
Like God's people have always been rejected. And then basically after they realize he's calling them out, they kill him. Basically, they start stoning him. And while he's being stoned, he looks up and he sees heaven opened up in the sky, and he says, "Look, I see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the Father." And then he's filled with the Holy Spirit. And then, he dies. They kill him. But then after this, all of the apostles of Jesus are scattered out, and that is the turning point in Acts where the gospel spreads throughout the entire world from there. Right? In Acts, you read Acts. If you haven't read Acts, Acts is basically after Jesus ascends up into heaven, the gospel just spreading locally and then a little further out and then to the entire world.
Yeah.
Right? So it's pretty local, but then after the killing of Stephen, after Stephen dies, it's all scattered out, the gospel spreads like throughout the entire world, basically. That reminds me of Charlie Kirk a lot. That's like,
Yeah.
honestly, because it's like there's like a fire just everywhere. Because I've seen videos not just in the U.S. too, like videos of videos in England and Germany and like different places where they're like having a memorial for Charlie Kirk.
They had a memorial like locally here where we live in AG.
I mean, yeah, that too, definitely.
like-
But like, I'm just saying the whole world was my point.
It's like phenomenal. Even like a local church out here, they just like posting, hey, we're doing a little thing for Charlie Kirk. If you want to just come and pray, and like actually a big group of people like came and just started praying, a little memorial thingamajigger. And I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing to like pray for those who are like grieving. You know, that too. You know, it's just. It's tough, because I think about like the family. I think about the wife and the kids. You know what they had to, what they're going through right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just praying that God will protect me in my life, just being faithful. That
Yeah,
something would
definitely, yeah.
never happen. Like honestly, something like that would just never happen to me, and my wife and my kids wouldn't have to go through that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, anyway, should I get to my second person?
You want to do a redo, not redo, cut?
We're at 26. Yeah, we could stop it now. So for everybody listening, our cameras only go 30 minutes. I don't think you need to clap it now. Okay, so the second person on my list is Paul. And a little backstory, if you don't know who Paul is.
Yeah.
Just read through Acts, by the way. It's in Acts chapter 9 where his conversion happens. But anyway, Paul is this religious leader who is persecuting Christians, killing them. Mm-hmm. And then in Acts chapter 9, he sees a light from heaven come down, and he's blinded for 3 days. And there's a voice that says, Saul, why are you persecuting me?
Yeah. At the time, his name was Saul.
Yeah, at the time his name was Saul, yeah. Just his Roman name is Paul, so he just, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
But he sees a light from heaven, and so he has this huge transformation. So then he starts preaching Jesus to everybody. And then he's thrown into prison multiple times, and he's beaten, and then he's eventually killed.
Yeah.
Which is horrible, right? It's not good that happened.
Yeah.
But God took the horrible situation of Paul being in prison, and he used that. You're gonna yawn in the middle of it. Oh my god.
Sorry. I tried to do a quick one. Oh, we're good. Oh, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
I was like on fire for a second. I was like on fire, and then you're just. Oh my gosh. Anyway, during the time that Paul was in prison, God used him to write most of the New Testament. Right, most of the New Testament in the Bible is written by Paul when he was in prison. Right, so horrible situation. God did something good with it. The third one, we don't really think of him as a martyr as much, but I mean Jesus himself was killed. Mm-hmm. And tortured and then killed.
Yeah. He was whipped.
For proclaiming himself.
He was spit at, and it was just horrible.
Yeah, and I think that is just a good reminder that whenever we're struggling or suffering or whatever, Jesus has experienced suffering also. Mm. And probably more suffering than a lot of us. And that is a very unique thing too. There's not I don't think there's another religion where their God comes down to earth and suffers for human beings.
For eternity.
Usually
just
God, like any other religion, God is pretty much just, almighty, up in a distance.
Yeah.
But Jesus actually came down, lived as a human being, experienced every emotion that we feel, and ultimately suffered and then died to save us from our sins. So, he's experienced everything we're feeling, so it's
crazy how
very
he made
personal.
The storms calm. He fed the 5,000, maybe more.
Then he fed the 5,000, maybe more.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know, was it exactly 5,000? I mean, it was probably a few more.
He was sleeping in a boat. and all the
I
other
feel like this is
people.
a little bit beside the point. I
I was like, I feel like I'm
feel like
going
this is a little bit off topic. I feel like this is...
But back to like Jesus representing us when he died. I think Charlie Kirk was, and the crazy. Okay, here's the crazy part. But like he was just on. It was like really like cool that he was on, and then now it's like he passed away. It was kind of like tough.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked when he debated all these people. It's actually like really eye opening, just the way that like his perspective and his like body language to just being calm and cool when he spoke. He spoke with heart.
But yeah, whenever you're ready, the last thing I have is a closing thought.
I have a good closing thought. Is that just for any, just in the future, I don't know if this stuff is gonna blow up or whatever, but like, you should never ever,
For any reason whatsoever.
be happy about someone that actually standing up for their faith, to speak life into people. One of the only people that I watch that had a heart for people. He would legit, like, he would just go to churches and speak sermons. Not like he would go to churches and go speak and just like talk about faith and God and Jesus, and like he like, and I hear stories about like just people meeting him in person and just like he's so genuine and care and loving. And it's honestly, it's hard. I bet it's like really, I bet it's really hard for me to be like just to see Jesus. Not hard. I think it's amazing to see Jesus through him, the way that he loved people. And I don't think this is my close out. You should never ever, think about hate or be happy that somebody like Charlie Kirk died.
Definitely. Okay, are we ready for closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my very last closing thought is just, what do we do with this, right? And so something to realize is, Ephesians 6:11 says, the battle is not against flesh and blood, but it's, spiritual warfare, basically. So that's something to really realize, it's not just people killing people, it's,
Yeah.
I like what Bryce Crawford said, actually. He said,
Yeah.
the devil overplayed his hand. So I really like what he said there. But yeah, anyway, Ephesians chapter 11 says, the battle's not against flesh and blood, it's spiritual warfare. So therefore, put on the full armor of God. The full armor of God, just off the top of my head, is belt of truth, breastplate of righteousness, helmet of salvation, shield of faith, shoes fitted with the gospel of peace, basically, and sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And what that means is, we're gonna fight hate with righteousness.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Our response to this,
Yeah. And
just our response to Charlie Kirk being martyred, is we're gonna stand in righteousness. We're gonna stand up for our faith.
we
Right?
could be the next. We could be the next ones that are out there sharing our faith. We could, like, you never know what God can do. But we wanted to just, we just wanted to just kind of talk about it because it's being talked about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Romans 12, I believe, off the top of my
Romans
head says...
12:2.
That's not what I was going to bring up. I was going to bring up Romans 12, the very end of the chapter, I believe, says, do not overcome evil with evil, but overcome evil with good. Basically, is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Even in
So that's the response,
Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed by the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. God has used you to transform people. What I think about, like, I will walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I will fear no evil. You know,
For
like
you're with me, you're
every
always have to
day,
comfort
like
me.
there's people in general going to try to attack you or negativity or whatever, you know, and you got to be like, no, I'm Jesus. In God, you are my provider, you are my protector. And I'll walk through the valley of the shadow of death and I'll fear no evil. It's so important. Just to
Yeah,
have
definitely, yeah.
courage and boldness and faith.
So yeah, we got to stand up. You know, we got to stand in righteousness. There's going to be a revival in this country, or just in the world, actually. In the
I think
world.
there's going to be a revival.
Let's go in the world. There's no way that was real.
No, sorry. I bring it
There's
in.
no way that was
Every
real.
time.
There's no way that was real.
Every time we podcast, I'm always
That's-
yawning.
There's no way
For
that
some reason.
when we have guests on, we're gonna offend them. They're gonna be like, "Am I boring you?"
No.
You're like,
I
"No,
don't
I'm
know.
just so tired." They're gonna be in the middle of talking. You're like, "Are we done yet?"
Are you tired? Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway,
nothing.
so for those listening, you know, we're saying stand in righteousness, you know. What really does that mean? Like, okay, are we going to march the streets proclaiming the gospel? You know, if that's your calling, if that's where you're at, go ahead, but you know, if not, just run after Jesus, dude. Just run after Jesus with your whole heart.
Yeah.
You know, that's ultimately it, you know.
Yeah.
Right? And just start small, you know, with regards to proclaiming the gospel, you know. Start with your own self. Just run after Jesus so that the people who are closest to you can see that. You know, that's what'll happen. It'll start with you, and then the people who are closest to you, you don't even have to say anything to them. And then they'll just see how you're different, and they'll be like, okay, what's different about you? Then just people who are, you know, just close friendships or, you know, in the workplace, you know, they'll see you too, and you might have to actually speak Jesus to them a little bit, because they might just be like, okay, why are you always so happy? What the heck? Right? You might actually have to bring up Jesus to them.
Yeah.
And then if the place you're at is going into the streets and then proclaiming the gospel, then
If that's your calling.
then go for it, you know, by all
Yeah.
means. Be careful though, bring somebody with you to protect you in case somebody, you know, tries to shoot you or attack you, or you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Bring a buddy, so
Yeah.
if somebody's, you know,
so
really angry or
just
something,
so you don't get hurt.
so
you
you're
know,
safe.
Sexually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought, but I lost it.
What else is new? The
I think
story of my life. I had a thought, but then I lost it. That's your whole day.
what I was gonna say is that there are other people, you know, speaking the gospel at, like, you know, gay pride and all that. And
Oh
going
yeah,
to the
Bryce is
street and,
crazy
like,
when he does that.
Bryce, and then there's other people, you know, you have Steven, I think, like, not Steven Crowder, but I think Louder or Crowder, that are going to, like, pride stuff and, like, just interviewing them, and, like, it's crazy how, like, people just, like, they're, like, nice, they're, like, I don't know, with, like, I've met some really cool, chill gay people, and I met some really, like, rude gay people, so it's definitely different, or, like, leftist people, I don't know, but, like, it's, like, when people start preaching the gospel, they just hate you, legit, and they treat you like crap. But, and then there's some people that are, like, leftist, or they're gay and whatever, and, like, they're open, you know, and it's like, hey, I respect your opinion and stuff, and then they walk away, and then it's like, some people are like, racist, you homophobe, or you this, and then, like, they get in people's, you know, that's, like, people get in people's faces and stuff like that, so, like, just have faith, and always have security, too. Like, just have people, like, if they want to, like, help protect you and making sure you're okay. Because we live in a dangerous world, honestly. We do. And that's the truth. We live in a really dangerous world. And honestly, we shouldn't have to live like that. But now we have to be faithfully minded and guarded, you know.
Yeah, no, I've talked about going out to the streets to just
Yeah.
preach the gospel with my dad. And by the way, I'm not very good at that. Just so, like, I'm not trying to, like, brag. Like, oh, I'm preaching the gospel. I'm not very good at it. It's kind of difficult.
That's
But
not
anyway,
my
but
calling.
my dad will be like, "Are you going by yourself?" Like, "I want to come with you," because he's like, "I don't want somebody to try to attack you or whatever. Like, I'm gonna defend you." It's kind of funny. Like, that's his first thought. Like, right. This was before Charlie Kirk too. My
Yeah.
dad's like, "I want to go with you so I can, defend me," basically.
Yeah. And just a message to the family. I pray that you just have just we'll all be just praying for the Kirk family. For the family.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just what they're going through. It's hard. I bet it's really really hard. But I think as Christians when we pray, for people like that, it's amazing to see God show up in their lives and stuff.
Yeah.
How do you want to wrap it up?
I think that's everything. Yeah, I mean, just,
Yeah.
God bless Charlie's family.
Yeah.
Anybody close to him who knew him, just people in the crowd who saw. I just I pray that there's just revival all around the world. And, I just, God bless, people evangelizing. I pray for your safety.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. We
Yeah,
love you, Charlie.
kind of just finish it all off.
Yeah, we love you, Charlie.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
We
Rest in peace, my
we
brother in
pray for
Christ.
Charlie's family and pray for Charlie Kirk's family. Is it Kirk's family, right? Bless them. And I think that's it. But other than that, don't forget to go to the link in the bio, get some Seek Jesus merch, and use the code. If you want some awesome pre-workout, awesome workout stuff, go to myogenics.com. And awesome latest stuff up and coming in the future. And I can't wait. I can't wait for God to just show up
Oh my
in
gosh.
everything that we do. And just,
Yes.
I don't know, for me, like every day, like
Yes.
I kind of remind myself, like, humble me, God. Take whatever pride that's in me, God, that is not you. Because, God, you give me confidence and courage in what I do. So, yeah. Don't forget to laugh and just live a blessed life and wake up with gratitude every single day.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're pretty much done, but I got a story, though. This is completely off topic. We can just cut this out. I don't know. This is the story I told you right before the podcast, though.